Well, Fox 32 has information indicating the FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been following allegations of her misspending and joins us now with an update. Dane.
The store came here to the gas station. It's on his live. All the evidence is on this boy's live. He said, "Oh, I got him now. I'm gonna pull up now," and jumped out. He jumped off the car. He was recording with his phone. Walked up to our car, and then we was bagging out. We pulled over right here. And it should be on their cameras too, so you'll see.
I'm happy that justice is being served.
Millions of dollars hidden away, a lavish life built on deceit, and now the downfall everyone's been waiting for. Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, has finally surrendered after a shocking FBI raid uncovered her web of corruption. For years, she lived like royalty while her town, Dalton, spiraled into financial ruin. Her jet-setting lifestyle, funded by taxpayer money, has come crashing down, and she now faces up to 25 years behind bars. This is the scandal that will blow everything wide open. Once hailed as untouchable, Henyard is now staring down 22 federal charges, not just your run-of-the-mill corruption, but millions of dollars in taxpayer funds allegedly misused and outright hidden. The FBI had been on her trail for months, and after subpoenas and whispers in the shadows, they made their move. But here's the kicker. This isn't Henyard's first run-in with the law. Previously, she was jailed for vehicle trespassing, but now she's up against a laundry list of charges that could guarantee serious prison time. Tiffany Henyard didn't care about the people of Dalton, Illinois, nor did she care about the town's crumbling finances. While the city was falling apart, she paraded around in a taxpayer-funded motorcade, flaunting her power as if the town were her personal playground. And just wait until you hear how she turned Dalton's coffers into her personal shopping fund. How does a town go from a surplus to broke in just 365 days? 2 words: Mayor Moneybags. Henyard wasn't just living large, she was living in excess, all on Dalton's dime. We're talking about a small-town mayor with big city dreams and an even bigger appetite for luxury. While the hard-working people in Dalton were scraping by, she was acting like she had hit the jackpot. Just picture this: a $7,700 shopping spree at Target, Walgreens, and Wayfair, all in one day on September 1st, 2023. That's not retail therapy, that's a full-blown shopping blitz. And guess who picked up the tab? You got it, the taxpayers of Dalton. But it didn't stop there. Henyard wasn't about to fly coach with the common folk. She insisted on living the first-class life, and why not? She even hired a professional hair and makeup team because apparently, running a town into the ground requires looking fabulous 24/7s. In just 1 year, her administration racked up over $12,000 in travel expenses, draining Dalton's $5.6 million surplus and leaving the town $3.6 million in the red. While Dalton's finances sank faster than a contestant on a game show, Henyard lived it up like a real housewife of Illinois. The outrage became so intense that officials banned her from using the town's credit cards for unapproved purchases. Imagine being a mayor who gets their spending privileges revoked. But if you thought the shopping spree was bad, buckle up. Henyard wasn't just splurging on herself, she was taking care of her family too, with taxpayer money. A whopping $561,000 went toward repaving her mother's driveway. That's right, over $500,000 for a single driveway. And Henyard's generosity didn't end there. She used the town's police force as her personal security detail. Instead of patrolling the streets, Dalton's cops were tasked with chauffeuring the mayor around town like she was a VIP. While the residents of Dalton wondered why police presence was lacking, Henyard had officers running personal errands like a glorified task force. One former police chief couldn't stay silent any longer and spilled the tea, exposing the whole operation. Now, Henyard's empire is crumbling, and the residents of Dalton are left to pick up the pieces of the financial disaster she created. The so-called super mayor has finally been dethroned, and her reign of excess and corruption is over.
We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime, and instead we have several officers that are riding around protecting America.
While Henyard was living like she had her own personal secret service, the rest of Dalton was left wondering if there was anyone left to answer a 911 call. But rules weren't about to stop her fun. Even after getting her credit card privileges revoked, She kept the party going, as if being mayor meant ruling her own little kingdom. Despite being cut off by the Illinois State Comptroller for reckless spending, Henyard still threw a massive party for the town, dropping $50,000 for just an hour of entertainment. Keith Wyatt and Jay Holiday performed for a cool $30,000 and $20,000, respectively, each doing quick 30-minute sets. If that wasn't outrageous enough, she spent an additional $36,000 on sound systems, staff, equipment, comedians, and even $6,600 on bounce houses. Yes, bounce houses. Meanwhile, residents like Jennifer Roberts were furious. She told WGN9, "That's my money." That's the people's money. Former trustee Valeria Stubbs didn't hold back, calling the event a total flop, with only about 70 people in attendance. "She likes to use our tax dollars to promote herself," Stubbs said. And according to another resident, Sher Britton, Henyard has no plans to stop anytime soon. "Tiffany is a narcissist. She's going to do whatever she wants. It's not going to end until they put cuffs on her," Britton remarked. While the FBI and angry taxpayers were keeping a close eye on Henyard, they missed the real twist. Remember that quiet assistant always trailing behind her? It turns out she was the one holding the matches that would burn everything down. Meet Carmen Carlisle, Henyard's former right-hand woman. Carlisle wasn't just fetching coffee. She had a front row seat to all of Henyard's schemes. And when the time came, Carlisle decided it was time to sing like a canary. For 2 years, Carlisle watched Henyard turn Dalton into her personal piggy bank. She knew all the secrets, and when she had enough, she took a stack of receipts to the feds. Her testimony was explosive, revealing how Henyard manipulated employees, vendors, and residents, all while projecting a polished image of success, paid for by the hardworking taxpayers of Thornton Township and Dalton. In Carlisle's own words, "For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents, using her position to expand her influence while projecting a false image of success, all funded by the taxpayers." But the story didn't end there. Shortly after Carlisle started talking, she was physically attacked. No one's pointing fingers outright, but rumors are swirling that Henyard may have had something to do with it. Carlisle wasn't the only one jumping ship, though. Remember Keith Freeman, Henyard's former aide? He's in hot water, too, facing charges for bankruptcy fraud. And the word on the street is that he's singing to the FBI as well. Henyard has long been known for intimidating trustees and silencing anyone who dared to expose her shady dealings. When firing them didn't work, she used taxpayer dollars to ensure she stayed in the spotlight, literally. Her face is plastered everywhere, from billboards to government buildings, like some dystopian leader clinging to power as her empire crumbles. Nightmare. And the worst part? It's not just financial damage. Real lives are being torn apart. Survivors of Henyard's misconduct are finally speaking out, sharing heartbreaking stories of financial ruin and intimidation. This isn't just about a corrupt mayor. This is a woman who's turned an entire community upside down. Just when Henyard thought she had dodged a bullet, she found herself in the crosshairs of something far bigger, the FBI. And when they come after you, it's not for pocket change. So how much money are we really talking about here? Word on the street is that the feds are digging deep into Henyard's finances, and they're not messing around. Subpoenas are flying left and right, demanding everything from credit card statements to personnel files. It all started when the FBI began sniffing around Dalton's town hall. This wasn't a casual visit. They came armed with legal papers, determined to uncover every penny Henyard might have misused. And these subpoenas are exposing every detail of her lavish lifestyle. The extravagant trips, the security detail that followed her around like she was a Kardashian, and every dollar that seemed to vanish from Dalton's coffers into her designer purse. But the FBI isn't just focused on her official business. They're diving into her personal life too. That cancer charity she loves to promote, it's under the microscope. Her political action committee? The feds want to see those books. Even her private business ventures are getting a thorough investigation. It's like they're playing connect the dots with Henyard's finances, and the picture that's emerging isn't pretty. Trustee Brittany Norwood didn't hold back, spilling the tea. "We have been asking for someone to come out here and save us. There's been a lot of spending that we're not privy to, and we've been asking for answers. Asterisk, the town has been crying for help, and it seems the FBI finally heard them. And it's not just Henyard who's under scrutiny. The FBI is casting a wide net, pulling in her political allies and anyone who might have had their hand in the cookie jar. Rumor has it they've even got some high-tech tricks up their sleeve, using electronic surveillance to catch any shady dealings Henyard and her crew might be involved in. Meanwhile, Henyard is still sitting pretty in the mayor's office. Can you believe it? The feds are closing in, the town's in an uproar, and she's acting like it's business as usual. People in Dalton are growing restless, wondering why justice is taking so long. They've watched their town circle the drain while Henyard lives it up like she's starring in her own reality show. But just when everyone thought she'd keep fighting, Henyard pulled the ultimate reverse card. Picture this. The FBI is closing in, her inner circle is crumbling, and out of nowhere, she decides to turn herself in. What could make a small-town mayor with a taste for luxury choose a jail cell over her lavish lifestyle? Yep, you read that right. Tiffany allegedly walked herself straight into the hands of the FBI. One minute she's acting like nothing's wrong, and the next, she's turning herself in like it's no big deal. Word on the street is Henyard might have a plan. Some are saying she's trying to cut a deal with the feds, hoping for some leniency in exchange for spilling the tea on her partners in crime. But Henyard's surrender isn't just about her. It's about the entire town of Dalton. The people have been waiting for this moment, holding their breath to see if justice would finally be served. Now that she's turned herself in, all eyes are on what happens next. When justice came knocking for Henyard, it knocked loud and hard. The woman who once flaunted a life of glamour has traded in her designer outfits for a prison jumpsuit. It's a far cry from those first-class flights and personal makeup artists she was so fond of. And if that wasn't bad enough, her own lawyer just bailed on her. Yep, she can't even pay her legal bills anymore. Ironic for someone pulling in over $220,000 a year. So how does someone like her end up in this mess? Well, Henyard didn't just fall into her cushy position as township supervisor, she inherited it. And along with the title came a fat paycheck. But she didn't stop there. In a brazen move to secure her grip on power, Henyard passed a shady ordinance slashing the next supervisor's salary to just $25,000, ensuring no one would dare run against her. That's the level of twisted control she's been wielding for years. The outrage has been simmering for a long time. Residents have been holding rallies, demanding justice, and things have gotten so bad they called in Lori Lightfoot to help clean up the mess at $400 an hour. Think about that for a second. How disastrous do things have to be for people to bring in the former mayor of Chicago just to save their crumbling town? Henyard's lavish spending and complete disregard for law didn't go unnoticed for long. With Dalton facing nearly $20 million in debt, the residents are desperate for a hero to step in and rescue them from the chaos. And let's not forget the missing millions. Just because Henyard turned herself in doesn't mean the town's money is going to magically reappear. Dalton is still drowning in financial ruin, and people are left wondering if they'll ever see a dime of that cash again. This is the same mayor who once blew $440,000 on Amazon in a single day. Now she's under federal investigation, with the Illinois State Comptroller cutting off state payments to the town, halting a crucial $135,000 Dalton desperately needs. But Henyard's problems go beyond financial scandals. She's facing a lawsuit from former employee Dwayne Thrash, who claims he was fired for refusing to participate in one of Henyard's shady schemes. Some people in Dalton are actually breathing a sigh of relief. Can you imagine being so fed up with your mayor that you're happy to see her in handcuffs? It's like the entire town has been living under a dark cloud, and now they're finally seeing a glimmer of hope. Henyard's downfall wasn't just about money. Her reputation crumbled amid allegations of sexual misconduct during city trips, wrongful terminations, and even accusations of sexual assault against employees. But here's where things get murky. Whether or not Henyard has actually turned herself in is still unclear. Some speculate she's playing the system, holding out for a deal, or trying to protect someone higher up. As the pressure mounts, the questions are growing louder. Why isn't she in jail yet? Why is she still the mayor? Why isn't she already in prison? It's becoming more frequent to hear comments about how corrupt the justice system must be to allow her to stay in power. One thing is certain. Tiffany Henyard isn't backing down easily, and this fight is far from over. So what's next for Dalton? That's the million-dollar question. With their mayor facing criminal charges and the town's finances in shambles, there's a long road ahead. But for the first time in a long time, there's a sense of hope in the air. It feels like Dalton can finally begin to heal now that the Queen of Corruption has been knocked off her throne. Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for more updates as this scandal continues to unfold.